Hello everybody, my name is Python and welcome back to another episode here of Pythoncraft. Today we create another build in our settlement, and actually it's going to be the first proper build, aside from maybe the plants are over there. It's the first proper build that we're going to have on this side of Flora Bay. This is going to be the 16 colour auto sheep shearing farm. I cannot remember the last time I made one of these. I'd like to say Python as well, but I think I may have made one in that one Let's Play that followed it. You know, that one where I lived in a woodland mansion, I believe. So yeah, it's been a while is what I'm trying to say. With that said though, the basic principle of how an auto sheep shearing farm works has not changed after all of these years. It is stupidly simple to create. So starting off with a bunch of chests. These are all, of course, the output chests, and we're going to replace every single torch with one. Next, what we're going to be needing is a grand total of 32 hoppers. 16 for the hoppers leading into the chests, and then 16 further for some hopper minecarts. And here we are with the minecart. My goodness me, that has taken up a heck of a lot of room in my inventory. But hey-ho, this will all be worth it in the finish. And there we have it, 16 minecarts with hoppers. And here we are getting 16 rails out as well. Only, you know, we need somewhere to place the hopper minecarts upon, right? So yeah, we've got some basic preparations done. Not all of the preparations done, but certainly a good amount of them. It should be enough for us to make a decent start on this thing. So while we get all of this stuff placed in, it gives me an opportunity to say a massive thank you for all of your lovely support throughout this series. Of course, if you want to continue supporting this series and these videos here, do consider dropping a like. I'd very much appreciate it. And if you're new around here, why not hit that subscribe button? By doing so and having those bell notifications turned on, you'll be the first to know when the new Minecraft episodes go out. So, if you haven't figured it out already, the reason we're placing in all of these glass blocks is so we can keep the eventual minecart hoppers nicely contained. The last thing we want is for any of the minecart hoppers to fall off the rails and wind up somewhere we don't want them to be. So, there we are. Bit of a diamond grid pattern going on. So, now we can get the minecarts with hoppers placed down. Now, I'm sure it goes without saying, yes, we're only going for one of each coloured sheep you can get in this game. So a grand total of 16 sheep. Now, obviously, by only having one of each coloured sheep, it means we're not going to have great rate in terms of, you know, how fast we gather a supply of each coloured wool. But at the end of the day, we're only on a single player world, so this should suffice. I mean, so long as we're working around here, which, I mean, we're going to be, this thing is going to be rather similar to the iron farm. It's just going to continually, passively generate items, isn't it? Ah, I've made a critical error here, folks. I have not made this wide enough. The grass blocks are supposed to go here, because then we would have an observer here, and the redstone butthole end of the observer would go into a block right here, which would then have a bit of redstone on top, and then the pair of shears within the dispenser would be where this grass block is here. Ah, rats. I've not made this big enough. Forget everything you've seen so far in today's episode. There we go. That's a little bit better spaced out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add in the grass blocks on top of these here minecart hoppers. And we're using grass all along the line here, even including sort of in between each cell. Because by having grass here, it means that the grass that winds up being eaten by the sheep and thus converts into dirt can then regrow into grass. So let's get this line of grass added in as well. And now what we can do is we can start on some redstone preparations. We need observers and we need dispensers. Oh, and some redstone itself. That'd be quite handy. Can you use deep slate in place of cobble when it comes to making redstone resources? It really doesn't look like it, does it? Well, that's unfortunate because I really don't have a great deal of cobblestone. Well, I'll be honest, it's been a long time since I've said this, but let's go cobblestone mining. Ah, yeah. Good old-fashioned cobblestone. I mean, you know, I could probably make like a super easy cobblestone generator instead of going to this kind of effort to get cobble. It's always after I embark on these journeys, then I realize that I can do these things far more easily. Sometimes I wonder about myself. How can I be so silly? 4 stacks of cobble? Is that going to be enough? I think so. Or more to the point, I hope so. There we are, 16 observers. And now we embark on a painstaking process of creating dispensers. I mean, the good news is we can purchase bows for literally 1 emerald each. The bad news is these don't stack, and I need to create 16 dispensers. It's gonna take a little bit, my friends, but there we are. Dispenser. Can I, like... Oh, no way, you can! So, I press space after crafting the dispenser. I don't know when they added that feature, but that is an absolute game changer. I think Etho discovered this feature lately as well. Super quick crafting via pressing the space bar. Ah, it's so incredibly useful, though. Right, dispenser... Oh, it's just so much quicker doing it this way. Alright, it is observer time, my friends. We need the face end of the observer to be facing towards the grass block and the redstone butthole end coming out the back. So, yeah, turns out we're doing this correctly first time for once. Now we're going to add a block at the back of the redstone butt ends. And now, nice and simple, we're just going to add a little bit of redstone dust on top of all these bits of basalt. You can use whatever block you want, of course, but I'm just using basalt because... I don't know, why not? It's just what I chose. But anyways, let's get ourselves some dispensers placed down. Again, a nice easy step here. And now, we should be able to get away with adding the shears in. And the best news is, because we have ourselves an iron farm, we really don't need to limit ourselves when it comes to the creation of these here shears. We can literally fill these dispensers entirely up. There's just no reason not to. So before we go ahead and add in all of the glass separators, separating all of the sheep away from each other, we need to try and finalize the block palette for this build. Only once I get this thing up, I don't particularly want to be, you know, having to relocate sheep and relocate them again or whatever else. So, let's go ahead and grab ourselves a bunch of tough stone variants and probably some form of wood, maybe some oak, maybe some birch, whatever it may be. What do we have a lot of? We got a good amount of oak logs. Okay. One of the things I probably should do is maybe place down some like colored glass or something. And the color of glass will correspond to the color of sheep that is in the cell above it. So, I don't know, maybe we put the colored bit of glass here. And if we really wanted to emphasize the colored thing, maybe we could put a bit of colored wool underneath the chest or something. Alright, so the sides of this build, yeah, they look a little bit mundane, a little bit boring, but once we have some nature placed up against it, I think it will look perfectly fine. So, as you can see, we've got ourselves some chiseled tough bricks, we've got some polished tough. What we need to do is we need to try and figure out the wood situation along the sheep cells here. So, maybe we place down a bunch of wood like this. Maybe the wood can sort of go sideways. And then this goes up like this with some chiseled tough bricks on top. Yeah, this should actually be relatively straightforward. Okay, I can't be the only one seeing a villager face in this, right? There's the eyes, and there's the villager's big nose. Why do I feel like I see faces in all of my builds? I mean, seriously, though. Alright, so now we should be able to get away with adding in all of the glass separators. Then we can begin on our little sheep enterprise. We can either breed them up or we can attempt to find 16 sheep. Although with that said, all of those sheep previously that we dyed, I think, cyan, we should just be able to dye them a different color directly, right? There were a lot of sheep on top of that mountain, weren't there? like way over there. One thing we should definitely consider is the fact that, you know, eventually the dispensers are going to run out of shears, right? So maybe what we should do is try to make some sort of maintenance shaft, maintenance entrance to this thing. We can access the dispensers from the bottom here, so maybe all we need to do is something as simple as adding an iron door on either side of this little corridor here, and of course, some lighting. We don't want to have anybody spawn in here now, do we? Especially not my creeper brothers. Imagine a creeper exploding in here, though. Oh, one shudders at the thought. Talking of creeper brothers, hello there. You're dead. Oh, hang on, there's a good couple more, actually. Boom, dead, and boom, dead. There we are. Always good to keep on top of our gunpowder supply for our firework rockets, eh? So this is what the sheep shearing farm is looking like currently. It's definitely looking a little bit drab, a little bit dreary. I think we could probably get away with adding some stairs, so the little output areas are sort of, I don't know, semi-sheltered from the weather. We could maybe add a wall or a fence in the middle as well, so it seems like the little canopy thing is fully supported. Sandstone stairs? Are we thinking that this will do the job quite nicely? I think so. And some sandstone walls added in as well. Time to inject a little bit of colour into the build, methinks. So, as you can see, we've got all of our bundles. We need at least 2 bits of every single dye. 1 dye so we can make ourselves the different colours of glass, and then the other dye to dye the sheep. You know what? We have these bundles in colour order. Why don't we use the same order for our sheep? I think that would look really, really cool. So, yeah, it would wind up kind of looking like a rainbow, almost. I've got my inventory set up in such a way that I can't possibly mess up the crafting of all of this glass. Like, I'm not going to wind up crafting too many of any one kind. So, let's just get all of these made real quick. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to arrange them in my inventory, the same as this lot. Now for the fun part, my friends. We've got black, we got grey, we got light grey, white, brown, yellow, orange, and red. Then on the other side, we've got ourselves a bit of pink, magenta, purple, blue, light blue, cyan, green, and lime green. Now it's time to go find ourselves some sheep, friends. I wonder if there's going to be a whole bunch, maybe on top of this hill here. Okay, there's actually one. I mean, it's better than nothing. Oh my god, you're not going to be the only one I lure on this first trip here. There's a second one, and I believe there was a third one up here someplace. Oh, there you are. Oh, go on. Get in that little hole there, buddy. Come on. Come on. Get in there. There we go. Resident number 2 is about to stroll on in here. And resident number 3. Go on, buddy. Get in your little... Wow, you actually running real smooth like. Haha, fantastic. All right, so that's 3 out of 16 sheep taken care of. And you know what? While we're at it, why don't we go ahead and dye them? I mean, strictly speaking, these farms are up and running now. I mean, that's literally all there is to it. Getting the sheep in there was the final step. So, this one is the pink sheep. I think this one is magenta. Boop. There you go. And I believe this one over here is going to be the black sheep. Am I correct in thinking? Yep. There you go. Right, now we can get these things blocked back off, so there's no chance of there being multiple sheep in one cell. That's the last thing we want. Go on. Oh, hello. Ah, this is working a treat. Look at that, our first ever bit of pink wool. Okay, so I can only assume what happened is this guy on this side. Yeah, look at you. This guy ate the grass, which then set off the observer, which then winds up actually activating the shears on both sides. Oh, look at this. We've got 2 black wool. Thank you, Mr. Sheep. You are far more productive than your pink counterpart. So with the knowledge in mind that I've got this thing set up correctly, I can now set my mind to the task of getting myself the remaining 13 sheep in this thing. I've just got to go find them all. Oh, hello. Looks like we got number 4 here. There we go. Another sheep in. What color is this one going to be? Lime green. And there you go. You know what? It's going to take a long time, but I think it's going to be worth it. The thing that I need to know first of all, though, is whether or not I can simply apply a dye over the top of these here cyan sheep. I certainly hope so. Let's go for a green one first of all. Ah, very good. Why do I seem to remember that you can only dye a sheep once? Was that ever the case, or am I remembering wrong? Anyway, no matter. Time for another sheep luring trip. I just realized something. I didn't need to get any white dye or cyan dye. Ah, well, what can I say? Always better to be safe than sorry, right? Look at this perfectly formed single file line. Oh my goodness me, you're the first ever sheep to cross this bridge. So if lime green is here, then that means the regular green should be right about here, and there we go. All right, cyan lad, I do believe that this is going to be the one for you. And for the white sheep, if memory serves me correct, this is going to be grey, light grey, and this one should be white, I believe. Oh my goodness, how about that? My memory, ladies and gentlemen, was correct. Alert the media. Python MC's memory was actually on point. Oh, I feel on top of the world right now. All right, so that was 7 out of 16 sheep. We are well on our way, my friends. Oh, my goodness me. We are going to be going ham with all of these sheep. There's so many of them. I think we need 9 of them. We have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's so many more around. What's the chances of us actually being able to bring over all 9 sheep simultaneously? As in, what's our chances of bringing them over and not having a single one lose interest? That really would be a day to remember. This is hilarious. Look at all these sheep descending the mountain here. Oh no, 2 of them have lost interest. Oh wait, no, hang on. One's potentially regained interest. Oh my goodness me. Imagine if these sheep ever suddenly became hostile towards me. That would be a big old yikes, wouldn't it? Considering everything I've done to sheep kind in Minecraft over the many years I've played this game, you know, making beds on day 1 usually requires the sacrifice of a sheep. Ooh, yeah, I feel like I am well overdue a little bit of sheep revenge. My goodness me, they are literally marching in like an army formation. I feel like they're starting to get organized. Maybe they are planning to overthrow me or something. Well, unbelievably, I managed to bring well over 9 sheep over here. Now we have the interesting task of trying to separate them all out. Go on, 1 final sheep and we'll have the entire farm up and running. Finally. All right, come on, come on. There you go. All right. So cyan is already taken care of, so we need, I believe, light blue, regular blue, and purple. So what, this guy is cyan, so I'm going to go ahead and say, is that one going to be regular blue or light blue? That's going to be regular blue. Wait, where's light blue? Wait, have I got this all wrong? Ah, this guy's still got cyan on. Right. Can you even dye these guys if they haven't got any wool on them? No. Doesn't look like it. That's a bit problematic. All right, we're going to have to wait until this one chomps on some grass, huh? I'm going to have to watch this guy like a hawk, apparently. The second I look away will be the second this guy chomps on the grass and therefore activates the shears in the dispenser there. This is literally going to be like a photo finish. A split-second dyeing of sheep. Oh, here we go. God, I think I got it. Split-second dyeing of the sheep. And there we are, light blue wool. Yeah, that actually worked. All right, very good. So all that leaves us to do is the exterior features, to add in the iron maintenance doors, and then that's about it, really. There we go. Maintenance doors have been added. I think I'd quite like to mess around with the floor in here. I mean, I know we're not going to be coming in here all that often, but I still want to have it look at least semi-decent. Ah, I've been a bit of a dingleberry, haven't I? I need to be able to access these dispensers. That's the whole point in having this corridor, Python, you nincompoop. Ah, jeez. All right, well, the good news is we might be able to have a sea lantern in the ceiling sort of every other gap. I mean, what? We've got access to 2 here, and if I was to open this one up, I would still have access to that very same one. So actually, yeah, we could still have sea lanterns in the ceiling. Just, you know, not as often as before. Now we can get on with adding the little tidbits of wool underneath the chests. I wonder, if I was to replace these blocks here with sea lanterns, maybe the increased light levels will allow the grass to spread a little bit quicker, right? I mean, that's my theory anyway. There we are. The sheep are nicely illuminated now. Right, now we need to get ourselves a proper roof on this thing and then maybe some external decorative features. So we're probably going to need ourselves a bunch of stairs, a bunch of trapdoors, and then a bunch of slabs so we can have roofs similar to the ones we got over here. Oh man, have I been busy since the last card. Well, I kind of have and I kind of haven't, in that I came up with some design decisions and then just sort of replicated them all across the place. I mean, we've got ourselves a bunch of these here glow item frames, upon which we can place all of the different kinds of wool. Again, adding a little bit of color to this build. And then what I decided is maybe we should finally have an area to display all of the different pottery sherds that exist in the game. I mean, in a recent episode, we went ahead and we collected every kind of pottery sherd you can get from the archaeological dig sites, right? I think there was, what, 7? Then, when I researched it on the wiki, it actually turns out there's a whopping 23 pottery sherds in the game. So we've got 16 cells for the sheep, right? So 16 pots with 8 either side, and then to make it up to 24 so we can have 1 pot that doesn't have a pottery sherd, I added 4 pots on both the back side and the front side, totaling up to 24. So yeah, not only will this place serve the purpose of giving us wool, it's also going to give us a reason to go explore the world, try and grab ourselves as many different pottery sherds as humanly possible. Eventually, of course, I'd like to have every single one of them. I think that'd be quite a nice little goal to go for. But anyways, for now, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to continue filling up these item frames. I'm then going to do a little bit of Operation Tidy and then a little bit of Operation Exterior Features. We're basically going to add a whole bunch of leaves lining these little bits here. Dude, these bushes are really helping to set this build apart from everything else. I really actually genuinely do love it. Right, now we just need to sort of connect these little leaf path things together. We can then start going ham with some bone meal. And then we should be just about done with this build at long last. Dude, I'm so happy with everything we've done today. I mean, making the actual farm itself is the easy part. Making the build and thus the farm look good, oh, that's the more difficult part. But I'm very, very glad that I took the time to make it look good. Only, yeah, not meaning to toot my own horn, this really does look kind of nice, right? Of course, leave your responses and feedback in the comments area down below, but yeah, I think we've done a pretty okay job here. And on that note, my friends, it is time to wrap up today's episode. So as per the norm, starting off, if I may, with a couple of dono shoutouts that have come in since the last episode. We've got Jordan Naval coming in with another $5 Canadian. That is twice in a row you've done that, bud. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. And we've also got Olaf Weimer? I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce that. I do apologise if I've got it wrong. But thank you so much for the €5 dono as well. And that, of course, leaves us with the comment of the day coming from Emily Silverstar, who says, you know, for your netherite armor, you should use emerald for the trim because it'll go with the creeper aesthetic. Do you know what? I don't know why I didn't think of that. It really makes sense though, doesn't it? I think that'd be a marvelous idea, especially with my cape being a creeper face as well, with all the green. Yeah. Love the suggestion. I'll make sure to get on top of that once I get myself netherite armor. For now, though, thank you so much for watching, my friends. If you've enjoyed today's episode and you're excited to see more, do be sure to drop a like. I'd very much appreciate it. Subscribe if you don't want to miss out on my future content. And again, any hints, tips, or feedback or suggestions regarding this build, leave them in the comments area down below. And you might just see your suggestions make it into the world. But yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you folks in the next episode. Bye-bye.